This is the Manga Xanadu Manga Dome podcast. I am your host, Laurie Henderson. Join me on this journey into the world of manga, where a river of reviews flow through caverns of commentary down into the latest news. Welcome to the Manga Dome. Episode 58, By Any Other Name. The Weekly Wish List. Just 2 titles again this week. From Kodansha comes Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex Volume 5. This is a manga adaptation of the anime. It has a very slow release schedule. Once a year it seems. But I like what I've read so far and will keep reading. Another series I liked enough to get the second volume of is What Did You Eat Yesterday from Vertical. I don't care for the food porn, but I am interested in the characters' relationships, so I'll muddle through somehow. In the news, Digital Manga Publishing, the publisher that has taken Kickstarter to heart, announced plans to kickstart another Osamu Tezuka title at their panel at Anime Central last weekend. Captain Ken is an action space cowboy series and will be published in 2 volumes under their Platinum imprint. Other Tezuka titles kickstarted, Barbara and Swallowing the Earth, were published under the same imprint. If you're a Tezuka fan, this is good news, but I think the Kickstarter Tezuka title has gotten out of hand, especially since DMP already has the rights to the entire Tezuka library. What's the point of another Kickstarter? The manga adaptation of La Corte de Oro Blue Sky, the dating sim, will end its run in Hakusensha's Lala magazine this month. The manga only started last November, and the first collected volume just came out in April. That's a pretty short run for a series that also has an anime currently airing. I wonder if the story is just that short, or if it just couldn't gain any traction. Perhaps since this is the second adaptation of the game, it didn't need as much to tell its story. While this makes the series short, I wonder if publishers will be interested. Maybe if they got both adaptations. Young Blackjack, a prequel series to the popular Osamu Tezuka title Blackjack, is getting a spin-off in Akita Shoten's Young Champion Retsu. Young Blackjack tells the story of Blackjack when he was still a medical student in the 60s. The original series gave us glimpses of Blackjack back then, and the prequel expands on them. The spin-off, Blackjack ni Narimasen Deshita, did not become Blackjack, will look at what would happen if Kuro Hazama had gotten his license and become a private practitioner. I really liked Blackjack, and both of these newer titles sound really interesting. I wish someone would license them. Young Blackjack should have enough of a backlog with 6 volumes to be viable for licensing. Viz Media announced it will run a one-shot for the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, Arc 5. The chapter was created by the original character designer for the show, Naohito Miyoshi, and illustrates a duel between the new protagonist, Yuya, and his rival, Akaba. The chapter will run in Weekly Shonen Jump in the May 26th issue. Viz has also released a new title in their digital-only select line. Fate Stay Night is another license rescue from the former publisher Tokyo Pop. The series follows Shoru Amiya, a high school student and amateur mechanic. He wants to follow in the footsteps of his adopted father, a magus, and become a hero of justice. His wish may come true as a war is being waged among some chosen magi, and he is about to become the focal point. Fate Stay Night is part of a popular multimedia franchise and is from the studio Type Moon. Fans of the franchise who've been wanting its return should be thrilled by this license. Crunchyroll Corner. At Anime Central, Crunchyroll announced a new manga license. The 10th Prism is a new title from Shogakukan's Big Comet Spirits magazine. It's a fantasy title that follows Tsunashi, a child of royalty who is left behind in the lost kingdom of Kuran. He hosts great powers that, once awakened, will revive Kuran, but Tsunashi would rather play in the world of books. But when a new army threatens to invade Kuran, he will have to get serious. The series is simulpubbing with Japan, and the first chapter is available now. The series sounds interesting, feels kind of meh to me. The Top 10 Department. Over at VizManga.com, Shonen Manga rules the list with the help of this month's sale. For the week of March 13th, 2014, some old favorites return to the top. Naruto Volume 1 returns to take number 1. Right behind it is One Piece Volume 1 at number 2. Siren Volume 16, last week's top title, falls to number 3, while Whistle does another double dose with Volume 19 coming in at number 4 and Volume 20 coming in at number 5. Naruto Volume 65 moves up 3 to number 6, while Boys Over Flowers Volume 35, the only shoujo on the list, debuts at number 7. All You Need Is Kill, the official graphic novel adaptation, Volume 1, falls 5 to number 8. Claymore, Volume 24, falls 7 to number 9. And Knights of the Zodiac, Volume 27, debuts at number 10. That sale on Naruto and One Piece is really skewing the top 10 numbers. They've taken the top spots again in absence of any big releases this week. Shoujo titles really took a beating this week as all 3 from last week were kicked off and only one backlist could step up. Otherwise, there wasn't much turnover this week. At the New York Times bestseller list, Kodansha fights back, but no amount of monsters can beat girls. For the week ending May 17th, 2014, the top title doesn't change. Monster Musume Volume 3 holds on to number 1. Fairy Tail Volume 38 debuts at number 2, and is followed by Monster Soul Volume 1, also debuting at number 3. Attack on Titan Volume 12 falls 1 to number 4, while Wolf Children Ame and Yuki move back up 3 to number 5. Attack on Titan Volume 1 takes another step back to number 6, while Seven Deadly Sins Volume 2 debuts at number 7. Nisekoi Volume 3 falls back 1 to number 8. Alice in the Country of Hearts, Love Labyrinth of Thorns debuts at number 9. And Attack on Titan Volume 10 digs in to end the list at number 10. Monster Musume's hold on the top spot isn't any surprise. That title is one of the few that can kick the Titans around. Seven Seas also managed to get another title on the list with the new Alice in the Country of Hearts title. But Kodansha really owns this list. They have 4 Attack on Titan titles, 2 Hiro Mashima titles, and their new shonen Seven Deadly Sins. Viz was only able to keep 1 title on the list, and it's a little surprising that it wasn't Naruto. By Any Other Name. Last week, Viz Media made the day of female anime fans by announcing the license and free streaming of Sailor Moon, both the original series and the new adaptation, Crystal. My Twitter feed was inundated by the squeeze of fans tweeting and retweeting their excitement. It didn't do anything for me. I was never a fan and never saw the anime. One of the things that excited fans is that Viz was releasing the anime with the original character names and no changes to the story. So Usagi wasn't going to be called Serena or Bunny, and the same-sex relationships were going to be just that, and not cousins. Surprisingly, this announcement wasn't met with joy by all Sailor Moon fans. Some were upset by Usagi's name change, calling it censorship and calling for a boycott of the release and or signing a petition for the return of the name Serena. I don't get this. Seriously. I've never been in favor of character name changes. I think it's silly to Americanize a character by giving them a generic Western name. Case closed, where Shinichi was changed to Jimmy and Ron to Rachel is the one that gets under my skin. But the changes that I think are the most ridiculous are when the names are translated. The Tokyo Pop version of the Sailor Moon manga did this. Usagi means rabbit when translated from Japanese to English, so Tokyo Pop translated Usagi to bunny. I've seen people try and defend this by claiming that is what the word means, so why not translate it? Here's my take. Yes, Usagi means rabbit, but it becomes something more when it becomes a name. All names have meanings. Look at any baby name book or search online, and all of the names will have some meaning. But when someone is introduced, the meaning of that name isn't important. A name is a person's identity. Yes, Usagi means rabbit in Japanese, but if I was introduced to someone named Usagi, no one would think to translate it or to call that person Bunny. Same for Sakura. It's a popular name for girls, but no one named Sakura would want to be called Cherry when introduced to an English speaker. The mangaka chose the name for the character for a reason, and knowing the meaning behind that name might help to put the character in context. Usagi is probably so named because of the folk tale of the rabbit on the moon, but calling her Bunny doesn't add anything to her character. Translating names to their English equivalent is just ridiculous and actually sounds pretentious. I'm glad you know what Usagi means, but that's not who the character is. Usagi is not Bunny. She is Usagi. Let the sleeping bunnies lie. And to all the people bemoaning the loss of Serena, get over it. You're not losing a name. You're not losing anything. The Sailor Moon Viz is showing is not your show and never will be. Just keep hugging your U.S. adaptation of this Japanese show and don't blame the mangaka for wanting a proper translation and leave the rest of the fans to enjoy their series in peace. Thank you for listening to the Manga Xanadu Manga Dome podcast. You can find links to the stories and books discussed here in the show notes at manga.jdragononline.com. You can email me with any questions at xanadu@jdragononline.com or leave a comment on this post. Rate me on YouTube and follow me on Twitter at Manga Xanadu, all one word. Until next time, farewell from the Manga Dome.